The package from hell. I've always loved ordering from AliExpress. It's cheap, sometimes the quality is questionable, but there are lots of unique items. I enjoyed the surprise, because you never really know what you're going to get. But this order was my biggest mistake. A strange find. One day, I came across a bizarre item. It was called the Faceless Black Doll. The description was vague. A rare artifact, an ancient doll found in an old temple, not recommended to open after midnight. That intrigued me. Only $6.66, probably just some cheap Chinese gimmick. I added it to my cart and placed the order. The package took suspiciously long to arrive. That's normal for AliExpress, but this time it took almost 2 months. When the tracking finally showed it was in my city, I was excited. And then it arrived. The first warning. The box looked like it had been through hell, crushed, damp with dark stains on it. It smelled of mildew and something rotten. When I opened the package, inside was a rag doll, completely black, like soot, with long, thin arms and no face. Where its eyes should have been, there were 2 empty holes stitched shut with black thread. At the bottom of the box, there was a note written in shaky handwriting. Burn it. Before it's too late. I laughed. Some weird Chinese marketing trick? Still, it gave me an uneasy feeling. I placed the doll on my shelf and forgot about it. The nightmares begin. That night, I had a nightmare. I was in a dark, narrow hallway where the walls were closing in on me. At the end of the hall stood the doll, but now it had a face. A gray, withered face with empty sockets for eyes and a mouth stretched into a grin. It was whispering something in a language I didn't understand. I woke up in a cold sweat. The room was eerily silent. I looked at my shelf. The doll was gone. It started moving. I got out of bed and looked around the room. Maybe it had fallen, but no. It was standing, on the floor, right next to my bed. A chill ran down my spine. I was sure I hadn't put it there. Thinking I was losing my mind, I grabbed the doll and shoved it back into the box. I put it in my closet and shut the door. But a few minutes later, I heard a whisper. It was coming from inside the closet. I threw the door open. The box was empty. It wouldn't let me go. That was when the real nightmare began. The doll started appearing in different places. I threw it away, but it came back. I tried to burn it. Fire wouldn't touch it. I stopped sleeping. My room was filled with strange noises. Shadows moved when there was no wind. One night, I woke up feeling like someone was standing over me. I couldn't move. Sleep paralysis. But I felt it. Long, thin fingers wrapping around my neck. I wanted to scream, but my voice wouldn't come out. My entire body was frozen. My chest felt like it was being crushed. And then, I heard it. A whisper. Right in my ear. Let me in. With a final gasp, I broke free from the paralysis and shot up in bed. The room was silent again. My heart pounded. My throat ached. I turned my head slowly. The doll was sitting next to me. Desperation. At this point, I was losing my mind. I took the doll and drove to the outskirts of town. I dug a hole in the woods, threw it in, and buried it as deep as I could. Then, I drove home, trying to convince myself it was over. But as soon as I stepped into my apartment, the doll was there, waiting, on my bed. Its head tilted slightly as if amused. The end or not? The next morning, I was desperate. I found the seller on AliExpress and messaged them. What is this doll? How do I get rid of it? The reply came instantly. You can't. You should never have ordered it. You are its new home now. Panicked, I shut off my phone and ran out of my apartment. I decided I wasn't going back. But when I got into my car, the doll was there, on the passenger seat, with a face. It was smiling, and then it spoke. "You can't run." Darkness swallowed me whole. The end? If you ever see strange items on AliExpress, don't order them.